So this is the video I was hoping I would never have to make. So if you follow this channel, you know that I started posting videos about my 2021 Harley-Davidson Pan America shortly after I bought it, posting videos about different accessories for it, performing different maintenance routines on the bike, reviewing different gear with the bike. And 3.5 years later, even I am not immune to the Pan America curse. The Pan America is not here. It is not in my garage. It had a catastrophic failure. So what happened? So early July, I was riding the bike, and as I was riding, I happened to notice that the low oil pressure warning light popped on the dash. As soon as I noticed that, I pulled the bike off as soon as it was safe to do so, confirmed that I did not lose any oil. Oil level in the crankcase was full, but the extreme top-end rattling noises told me that something was definitely wrong. Now, luckily, this happened where I was in position to be able to get access to my trailer and trailer the bike home and then trailer it to my dealer. I can only imagine the headache that I would have had this happen while I was on a cross-country trip. So my frustrations here are twofold. One is with the bike itself and Harley-Davidson. Now I understand, things can break. I've had mechanical issues before. I've had a couple of minor issues with this bike that I've talked about in prior videos, but this is the first time I've had something fail on any of my motorcycles that caused me to not be able to ride it back home. And this would be easier to swallow if it was just the failure of a specific part that I could replace and move on, right? If we're talking something like a fuel pump completely given out, or the throttle twist grip sensor dying and needing to replace, the right-hand control module, if that died and needed to be replaced, right? These are all things that I could just swap out that part and be on my way. But losing oil pressure while riding means that the state and reliability of that engine, even once we fix the oil pressure issue, is kind of unknown. Meaning somebody needs to tear into the engine, check it out, see if it needs to have some parts, some internals replaced or rebuilt, or if we just replace the entire engine. So a lot more involved than just replacing a part and sending me on my way. So again, the bike is a 2021, which means that I'm about 1.5 years past my 2-year factory warranty. A whole new engine is about $9,000, not including any labor associated with removing one and installing one. Is it worth spending that kind of cash to get this bike back on the road? Now, in my case, I do have an extended service plan. This is the first time I've ever bought any kind of extended service plan for a motorcycle. And yeah, I guess I'm glad I did, but that's yet to be seen, right? And more on that in just a little bit. But what if I didn't buy that extended service plan? Well, then I'm faced with a decision of spending as much money, if not perhaps more money when it's all said and done, than the bike is worth to get it running again. Or we scrap it, call it a loss, and go shopping for something else. The second reason that I'm frustrated with this whole situation actually has me more frustrated than the failure of the bike itself, and that's just the response and the way that I'm being treated by the dealership. They've had my bike for about a month now, and I cannot tell you yet at the time of recording this video what the reason is that the bike lost oil pressure. Reason I can't tell you is because the dealer doesn't know yet. And the reason the dealer doesn't know yet is because they've barely started getting into the bike and looking at things, even after having it all this time, because they're working on my bike just in between other jobs that they can get in and get out quickly. Now, I get it. I am not the ideal Harley-Davidson dealership customer. The Pan America is only the second Harley Davidson I've ever bought, and I don't take it to the dealer for routine service. I do all my own service and maintenance. I do buy parts from the dealer, but that's about the only repeat business they get out of me. So I can kind of understand how I get bumped to the bottom of the list priority-wise, as they want to take care of customers that have bought multiple bikes and continue to bring them through for parts, accessories, service, and upgrades. But it doesn't make it any less frustrating when, again, I'm here without my bike. So the process, as I understand it, is the dealership techs have to tear my engine apart, inspect and try and figure out why it lost oil pressure, inspect the internals of the engine, and then all that information gets sent to the extended service company, who will decide what the way forward is as far as repairing the bike. And I'm really hoping that they agree that the only way forward is to replace the engine. Because again, I just don't know how much can I trust this, since it ran without oil pressure for some period of time. In one of my other videos, I talked about the issues with Pan America and their resale values, and how that makes matters complicated with extended warranties, because the Harley-Davidson extended warranty, extended service plan puts a limit on what they will pay for a repair based on the book value of the bike. So let's say the book value on my 21 Pan America is about 10 grand, right? It's somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly what it is. With that engine being 9, I'm probably going to be on the hook for some portion of the labor involved here, because we're quickly going to hit that $10,000 limit if we do indeed replace the motor. And even if we don't replace the motor, well, then that just means there's going to be more labor involved with tearing apart and replacing whatever needs to be replaced as far as internals of the motor. Now, as I mentioned earlier, at least I was in a position that I was able to get this bike trailered home, trailer it to my dealer. If this had happened when I was, in a different state and I wasn't able to easily get the bike transported back home, I have no idea where I'd be at this point. Now I can already hear the comment section blowing up. I can hear both sides of the comment section blowing up. I can hear those that are saying, well, you're the one that bought that piece of junk. You should have known better, buying that before it was, unproven, being such an early adopter, buying the first year. And hey, what did you expect? And I can get that to an extent. Right? If I had waited a little bit, seeing about different issues getting worked out. But on the other side, by buying it when I did, that's that many more years I got to enjoy riding that motorcycle. Life is short. I don't like putting things off if I don't have to. And then there's the other folks that are like, oh, boo-hoo, just get it fixed, enjoy the bike, quit crying about it. Harley Davidson is awesome, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I kind of fit somewhere in the middle. I am not a Harley Davidson fanboy by any stretch. Like I said, this is only my second Harley that I've ever had. I had a Road King prior to the Pan America, and I really liked that bike, and I really liked the Pan America while it was running. And although my Pan America gave it up at just over 18,000 miles, not a whole lot of miles, and I know there's plenty of other Pan America owners out there with way more miles than that. I know folks that go cross country, that have taken it to Alaska and back, and have had no major issues, right? Certainly nothing with the engine. I'm certainly in the minority of having that happen. But it did happen, and it happened to me, and now I can't ride my bike. It's frustrating. That's all there is to it. So if I was not working with the dealer and going through the extended service plan, what would I do in this situation? I'm not sure. I don't think I would put out the money to get it fixed. Would I buy another one? That's a hard sell. Again, as much as I love the bike, as much fun as it is, and I already have all these accessories and things that I could swap over, right? It's just a tough pill to swallow to say, yeah, I had this bike and it had a catastrophic failure. Let me go buy another one just like it. I don't know about that. I would definitely want to get another adventure bike. Whether that's a BMW, whether that's a Triumph, I don't know. Hopefully things with my Pan America get resolved. It's probably going to take a while. I live in Pennsylvania, and right now I'm filming this in August, and my guess is that it's going to be heated gear season before I get to ride my Pan America again. I do have other bikes to ride. Maybe I'll feature them on the channel for a bit. And I will certainly keep everybody updated with the progress of my Pan America as soon as I know more. So it'll be a little bit before we see the Pan America back here, but thanks for watching. Ride safe.